Hey guys, I'm Coach Ty with Muscle Wiki. This is our good friend Amber. We're going to be taking you through the step up today. All the different variations you can do, stuff not to do, stuff to do, so on and so forth. So why would you use the step up? What does it do? Essentially, it's a quad and glute move. Now, some people will say this is a hamstring move. I would tell you any lower body pushing exercise that you perform, whether that's a lunge, a squat, or a step up, is not really going to bring your hamstrings into the movement too much. The more knee bend you have, the less hamstring action you'll get. So this is not really a hamstring move, but again, for the front of your legs and for your glutes, it's a perfect move. Also, it's single-sided, so if squatting doesn't work for you for some reason, this might be a good alternative. Also, if lunges give you any joint pain or issues, this also could be a good alternative to try out. We're ready to perform the step up, so I'm gonna have Amber go ahead and put her right foot up on the box, and we'll start there. So before you initiate your first rep, make sure you've got your shoulder blades pulled back. Imagine you've got your favorite sports team or band or clothing brand on your chest. In Amber's case, Nike, in my case, Under Armour. Show off that logo as you're performing the set. Think Superman or Superwoman chest stuck out, okay? And then we're ready to initiate the rep, so I'm gonna have you go ahead and step up onto the box. Perfect. Make sure you drive through your heels and do not let your heel come up off the box. That's where we wanna transfer our force through, okay? Let's do a second one. Great, 2, and we're gonna go to 8 here. Great, 3. Make sure you keep your eyes ahead. Again, tall chest, tall chest. One other thing you want to make sure to watch out for, especially as you start fatiguing, we have 2 more, is controlling yourself on the way down. We don't want to bottom out and ram your back foot into the floor, and that's 8. That's going to put way too much stress on the joints for that back leg, okay? And you can go ahead and rest.
Moving on to our form do nots. I've got 4 of them for you on the step up. Number 1, back rounding. Now this is also usually seen in conjunction with looking straight down as you see her doing. It's very natural to want to look down because you want to kind of look where you're going, but trust that the box is stable and try to keep your eyes ahead. This will also help you keep your back flat and your chest up. Number 2, heels rising. This is also very common. Just make sure you keep your entire foot in contact with the box. And if anything's going to come up off the box, let it be your toes. You want to drive through your heels. You can put a lot more force into the box and therefore lift a little more weight that way. Number 3, no control on the eccentric. So you want to control yourself as you're going down. You don't want to bottom out and then slam your back leg into the ground. It's going to put way too much stress and impact on those joints, particularly the ankle. And then finally, squatting up. This is when a person steps up onto the box and then squats the rest of the way. So we want to keep this a single-sided exercise, so try to keep all the stress and tension on the working leg. Moving on to our Q&A.
How do you know how heavy to go on a step up? Well, I would say the answer to this question is the same with just about all exercises. I'm sure there's some exception to this rule, but the rule is let your form dictate how heavy you go. When you start to notice form breakdown, that means you need to cut things off there because we want to always stay safe. We want to work hard and push to near failure on our muscle growth movements, but again, once the form starts breaking down, we don't want to end up in a dangerous position. So let's say, for example, we're doing a dumbbell step up and we're in the middle of a set and we hit 6, 7, 8. Now that last rep was a struggle. However, the form was still pretty solid. My back was flat. I didn't get too pitched forward. But let's say I go much heavier with these dumbbells. Instead of these being 10s, let's say, I don't know, they're 30s, right? And then I start to lean forward to step up. Or I start rounding and then bottoming out, not controlling myself on the way down. Use the do nots that I just articulated a little bit earlier in the video to dictate, again, how heavy you should go. And I would suggest you start off with just body weight step ups if you've never done the move before, and then move to either dumbbells or kettlebells. You can start single-sided if you're not quite comfortable enough having the weight of 2 dumbbells. And then you can move up to a barbell. That's gonna be the heaviest. Also, the barbell is gonna allow you to micro-load the best. So add very small increments as you grow. And the other benefit the barbell provides is you don't have to hold the weights because the bar is here on your back. So that will usually allow you to go a lot heavier than you would otherwise be able to with dumbbells or kettlebells. Good.
Question number 2. How high should the box be on a step up? There is no right or wrong answer to this question. You see me using a lower box here. I would suggest if you've never done these or are not familiar with the exercise, you just start with a low box just to be safe. But ultimately, where we're trying to get is to parallel, just like we do with a squat. So you want your hamstring parallel with the ground. Now you see here, my leg is a little bit higher than parallel, so this box is a little more elevated than what you might want. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong or even that it's too high. Again, as you progress, one thing that you can do is continue to make the box higher and higher. Once you've gotten to parallel, you can safely pause there and stay at that height and then start adding the weight. And then if you want to continue to add some more range of motion at the knee and at the hip, you can go with a higher box. Make sure you get plenty strong at parallel before you start climbing up. And if this is too great of a joint angle and you start to get some knee or ankle or hip pain, then you're good to just stay at parallel. Number 3, how should you hold the dumbbells or kettlebells when performing a step up? Again, there is no right or wrong answer to this question. You see me holding 2 dumbbells there. Here I have a front rack position. The advantage of this one is it'll keep you a little more upright. Make sure you're forcing your elbows up as you're holding the dumbbells. And again, keep a tall chest and those shoulder blades pulled back. Here is a single-sided dumbbell. This is a little bit easier, of course, than holding 2 dumbbells because it's lighter. However, it's a little more difficult in the way that it is more difficult to balance because you've got an offset weight. And you can do all the same things with kettlebells. You can hold on one side, you can do 2-sided, or you can do a front rack position with kettlebells as well. And again, if you're going front rack, make sure you keep those elbows high. And finally, I wanted to show you a barbell. So I always like to set up the box in front of the barbell rack and then walk out with it. And as I said earlier, the nice thing about this is you can micro load. So put very small increments of weight as you progress. And also you don't have to hold the weight. So you don't have that, what I like to call limiting factor in place. Can you target your glutes over your quads or vice versa? So here is what I would call a glute focused step up. Shift your hips back to increase the angle of your hips. And then here you saw me pull my heel all the way back, and then I'm forcing my knee forward to where my hamstring is touching against my calf. So you get a very long range of motion at the knee, and this will preferentially target your quads over your glutes. Our final question, should you balance on one leg or bring your off foot to the box? Again, no right or wrong answer here. It's just about what your focus is with the exercise. If you're trying to train balance and become more stable, I would say pull that off leg all the way through. If you're trying to train for strength and muscle, then keep it to both feet coming to the box.
So that's the step up. Those are some form cues for you. As always, let us know what other exercises you want to see broken down for you, and we'll catch you with the next one. Peace. And make sure, whoop. All good. No, you're fine.
Oh, shit.